Good morning. How are you? It's still early here in California, and I know a lot of my friends are in California, and many people may not catch this live until later, and that's okay. Let me know if you happen to be catching it live, where you're watching from. And then, too, if you're watching it on the replay as well, I am doing something very different. Usually, I publish our blog, Renovation Inspiration, on Saturday mornings. My goal is always to do it before 10 o'clock, like clockwork. Let's make sure I say that right. Clockwork, it gets published. But for today, because of the nature of the subject matter being about relationships, I wanted to do something a little bit more intimate, a little face-to-face, and it's a video, a vlog. So I'm going to actually take this Facebook Live and put it into our blog. So instead of just writing up a whole bunch of text. So let's kind of talk about the relational side of this blog and why I decided to do it this way instead of a written piece. So for the past few weeks, we have been focusing on training to win, training your mind for success. And the blog has covered everything from the role of failure in success. Like so many times people have to fail in order to achieve, right? Also, the blog talked about how you define success on a personal level, and how you define it is going to be different than how I define it. And because of that, your goals are going to be different than my goals. So we talk about goal setting, and then last week we actually talked about the importance, it's like there's a lightning storm in my den. My little light is flashing. Gotta love live stuff. But the importance of grit, and you have to have grit and perseverance in order to achieve. If you give up, you're not going to have success. And, one thing that I really try to instill in my students is a concept called growth mindset and the importance of not limiting yourself. So, all those things have been discussed in the blog the last few weeks, but the next obvious topic for me and a good way to end this series is establishing a strong support system, because we aren't islands. And most people cannot accomplish their goals or do it alone, right? We usually need to have a little community, a little support, right, in order to move towards our goals. And I know that some of my friends probably have support systems in place. And so when I'm talking about this, maybe consider your support system the way you have it set up and think, do I have these types of people in my support system? Can I identify who these people are? And if you've just recently established some goals and you're thinking about who can help support you in those goals, then start thinking about who in my life can wear these hats, these roles in my support system. So let's kind of jump in and get started. I love C.S. Lewis, and I know a few of my friends do too, because I see memes of him and all kinds of things shared all over the place about C.S. Lewis. Awesome guy. And one of his quotes that he once said was, the next best thing, look, all of a sudden it's kind of like this strange effect here going. The next best thing to being wise oneself is to live in a circle of those who are. And it only makes sense that if you're striving for something, you're going to surround yourself with wise people who are going to give you sound counsel and advice. So, that is an awesome quote to consider and to really think about, do we have those people in our life? So when I think about successful people, I don't know about you, but a a lot of them have acquaintances, like a lot of acquaintances, but they may not have like a million friends, okay? Successful people tend to be kind of choosy, and that's okay, and there's a reason for that. And the reason that I think most people that are successful are choosy about their inner circle and who they have as friends is because they recognize that there's a lot of negativity out there. There's a lot of negative Nancy's, and there's a lot of dream crushers out there, right? And so you have to consider, if you bring everyone into your inner circle, you're bringing in a lot of opinions and a lot of behaviors that can have a negative impact on you, and it can lead to a lot of hurt and frustration. But if you're choosy from the beginning about who you let in, you're not going to be dealing with that quite as much. And a perfect example of someone that I think understood that probably better than anyone was Jesus. Jesus's inner circle was the 12 disciples, and he was actually closer to some of his disciples than others. So in that, he is a great model for us that we need to be careful about whom we let into our inner circle. So as we talk about our support system, our inner circle, your peeps, think about who you have in this group of people and if they fit one of these 3 roles. Okay, we're going to talk about 3 roles. Am I saying you just need 3 people? No. You're going to have people in your support system that wear these 3 hats, or you should. You should have them wearing these 3 hats, okay? So the first role I think is huge is the encourager. Who does not want to be encouraged? So let's talk about what an encourager looks like. They're your cheerleaders. They're the ones that when they hear about your goal, they're like, woohoo, you can do this. And they're the ones that are giving you the positive affirmation. But a lot of times, let's think about this. It needs to move from just the words, right, to the actions. Action speaks priority. Does that sound like Gandhi? I think that's a Gandhi quote. So actions speak priority. So not only are the encouragers going to be like cheering you on and giving you the words of encouragement and the affirmation, but they're also going to be doing some actions. They might be like, hey, I have that same goal too. Let's do it together. And then all of a sudden you have a sidekick. Like you have an encourager that's like doing the goal with you. Maybe they wanted to get healthy, and so they start going on runs with you. You know, they start being an accountability partner on the diet thing. You know, whatever it is. But maybe they take on that role in that way as, an encourager / sidekick. The other thing that an encourager might do, maybe they don't want to do the goal or work with you on that particular goal, but they may support you in like, hey, I know that you want to go on more dates with your husband. You have a relational goal. Let me watch your kids for a while, such as, like Saturday night, so you guys can go on a date. So they might support you by giving up their time. They might also be like, hey, I heard you have a business goal. So let me support you in, trying out your new cleaning service. Or, I heard you work at the local blood bank. I've been meaning to go in and donate blood. So there's someone that's going to be putting action to their words in order to support you. Those are the different ways that an encourager can meet that role in your support system. So definitely a huge important role for you, because if we don't have that encouragement, it's harder for us to be motivated. Now, it's not an absolute huge necessity. I mean, it's easier to have people that meet that role. I think that God definitely will meet that goal for us if we don't have people encouraging us. So if you are a Christian and you have that belief, that connection to God, He is the ultimate encourager in your life. And so, just that said, that's important to take note. The second important role that people can have in your support system is being a mentor. Everybody needs a mentor. We need someone that's been there and done that. Okay? These are the people that if you have just started teaching and you work in your school and you're like, oh, there's this experienced teacher and they've been doing it for 20 plus years. I want to talk to them and pick their brain. Maybe it's someone who has also started a business before and you're like, I need to pick their brain and see how can I get past some of these beginning challenges of starting a new business. I mean, the deal with a mentor is you got to be able to feel like you can trust them and have frank conversations with them. And they got to be successful. They have to be someone that's successful and encouraging, because this is actually really funny. I was in a training this past week, and for my job, and a lot of you know I'm a special ed teacher, and one of our workability gals was talking about a business that she was considering having some students, go to see, like as an industry tour, and to check out and see if maybe the kids would like to consider this line of work. Well, the business owner actually has told students that she took in before to his business, you don't want to get in this line of work. That is not the type of mentor you need. You need a mentor that's going to be all about positivity and encouragement and make you feel like you can actually do something. And that's counterproductive when you don't have that in a mentor. So, huge. Look for those mentors in your life. Now, you may know a mentor now, or know of a mentor that you don't personally know. Am I making sense? So, the third role of someone in your support system is the connection. So, that whole, like, it's not what you know, but it's who you know type of a thing. Well, the connector is your connection. They're the one that maybe knows a lot of people, but it's more about like they know the right people that are going to help you achieve your goal. And so the other important thing to note is, oh, well, I don't want to have a relationship with a connector because I don't want them to feel like they're being used. Well, if your connector is going to feel that way, don't use them. The connector, the real true blue connection, or the connectors, are the people that want to help you, get you in touch with the mentor that's going to help you, or another encourager that might be able to fulfill a role in what you're trying to do. So the connector is happy to connect you with the right people. So the connector is actually often ignored or overlooked in support systems, but it cannot be spoken about enough, you guys. Look for those people that have connections to people that you want to get to know and help you achieve your goals. It only makes sense. So, there's a couple things. Now that we've talked about the three roles, the encourager, the mentor, and the connector, now that we've kind of addressed that, I hope you've been thinking about your current support system and ticking off those boxes, like so-and-so meets that. They're my encourager. So-and-so meets that. They're both of those people are my mentor. You might be thinking through all that. But I want to address the whole issue of expectations, because really what we're talking about is very relational. And I find that when we have expectations for people, that's when we become really disappointed at times or discouraged. So maybe when you set up these goals that you have for success, whether they're business, relational, health, whatever they are, maybe when you started to set them, you might have had in your mind a picture of the people that you thought would be in your support system, that would encourage you, that could be your mentor. And maybe they're not meeting that role. And it really hurts, and I'm just going to say it, when they're loved ones, when they're family members, when they're close friends. I get that. I get that. But we need to move past that, past the expectations, and here's why. There's a reason why some of the closest people to us are not able to meet that role for us. And I feel like there's two reasons why. One reason might be that our loved ones cannot relate to our priorities. They have a hard time understanding our priorities and our goals, or even maybe how we define success. So it's hard for them to be supportive in those goals, okay? They might not understand. Maybe they're not risk takers. They don't understand why you started a new business. They don't understand why you decided to go back to school. So that would be one reason. Another reason why some of the people closest to us do not support us in the way that we expect them to is because they have a limited vision of us, or opinion or view of us. They only see us in one way. So if you have decided to become a different version or a better version of you, don't change who you are, but a better version of you, they may have a hard time seeing you in this different light, okay? They might always recognize, like me, how there's always going to be the teacher, okay? So that's okay. It's okay if people do that, because in a way they are limiting their view of you. But you do not have to limit your view of you. It's important that you don't do that. We cannot limit ourselves. If we limit ourselves, we can't grow. We can't grow and progress to who we want to be and who God has planned for us to be. Okay? So, that is important. Now, you might have frustration about that. You might have some discouragement about not being supportive by, people in your life that you expected to be. But you have to forgive and you have to move on. And once you realize and really think about it, and really think about why they're not supporting you, I think that helps. It helps you understand. And it will hopefully move you to find the people, to rely on the people in your support system that can get you where you want to be. Okay? That's what this is really about. Don't waste the emotions, the frustration, the time trying to convince someone to support you. If their heart is where it needs to be, they will automatically support you and be part of your support system. Don't chase them down. You be true to yourself, and you look for the people that can help you in your support system in order to help you be successful. Because that's what it's about. And we only have a certain amount of time to do it. We are appointed just a certain amount of time in our lives, and we got to get on this. We don't have time to waste. So I hope that I've given you some time, some thoughts to consider in terms of success. We love you guys. We hope you have had some time to process through several of these blogs now, and that if you have questions or comments about anything, we are always open. We love you guys, and just wish you the very best, and keep on renovating. That's what we are hoping to do. Become the best versions of ourselves, and we'll continue to document that through Renovation Inspiration, our blog. So take care, you guys, and we will talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.